I don't think Mary ever would probably say a bad thing about anybody. She's just that sweet a person, that she would find the positive in everything.
I think she was just a caring individual who, was always willing to lend a hand, always there to help.
Unfortunately, she was already symptomatic when I was born, so I didn't have that much good time with her.
Ours is a hereditary ataxia, SCA3. It was typically diagnosed, or the symptoms came on later in life in our family. But I think we are seeing that it's becoming earlier and earlier, because my brother, we've known since probably his late 20s.
I was diagnosed when I was approximately 30, and it has affected my life dramatically.
It's been hard watching him go downhill like he has, just because knowing that unless they come up with a cure, he's going to end up like Mary.
She saw her mom go through this, and you always wonder, wouldn't that be hard to know what you have ahead of you? And I feel that way with Tony too.
He's the baby, and you feel guilty, because why him? Why is he the only one?
Watching my mom progress through the disease was difficult, but it's all part of life.
To know what Mary's going through, it's just hard. It's like, why? Why such a sweet person? Why did this have to happen to Mary?
I think Mary started showing symptoms at about the age of 35. I guess for me, I knew seeing her mother go downhill, I knew that eventually that was going to happen to her, and you just hope it don't progress as fast.
I think the way I've seen it affect my dad is that he's probably aged more quickly. My dad is very active. It keeps him more homebound. My dad's had to learn how to cook, how to take care of a house, how to take care of someone else. She did all the things around our home. She cared for the kids, and Dad, he was the breadwinner. And now we're asking him to help with those things. And so that's frustrating for him, frustrating for her. I feel like it's created a lot of stress on their marriage because of all those frustrations.
Yeah, it's hard to watch her go downhill. She tries to do things that she knows she can't, but yet she still tries to do, and I'm sure it's frustrating. Even if you try to pick something up, your hands just don't work.
I mean, as frustrating as I feel about it, I can't even imagine the frustration that she feels, or that Tony feels, losing those inabilities to do things that they love to do.
Since I've become more symptomatic, things I used to be able to do is pretty much just walk.
Yeah, he had a business in Kansas City, landscaping, and his health just got to where he just couldn't do it anymore. So then he moved back here. Very fortunate that the Ritters have a feed yard and they let him work in the office.
It's not my idea of a perfect job because I'm sitting in the office all day, but pretty much about what I can do now.
It's a very, very frustrating disease because it is so slow in progression. You start seeing them lose all of those capabilities, and it gets to a point where, gosh, they can sit in a chair and watch TV. So it is very frustrating, very frustrating. The community of Beemer is absolutely amazing. I know when Dad was struggling with cares for Mom and he wanted to keep her at home, he started, just finding people who were willing to come in and help. And I mean, they're like friends.
I've been so fortunate being able to get the caregivers I have, and I don't think you could do that in a city.
Being in such a small community, you don't have access like people in the bigger cities. But sometimes it's a really great thing because there is so much closeness in a small town. And we found that because Dad's been able to find people to come in and help with Mom's cares, and it's been great.
Being a caretaker it just amazes me. I don't want to cry, but it's a rewarding job. Being a caretaker is a rewarding job.
You can't help but having your heart into this kind of work, and Mary's just special. And Tony, they're all good people, And, Bob's lived with this for a lot of years too. And his kids are very supportive of him. They know caretakers need breaks too.
I want to keep her here as long as I can, but I'm sure after my body parts give out, I won't be able to anymore.
Bob comes 3 times a day, and Tony comes when he can.
We've talked about it for probably a couple years already, but I just didn't think I was ready to see her go, and you always like to have them here as long as you can. But I think she understands that one person just can't really take care of her like they should. I think it's better for her, and it's better for me, easier on my health. I'm sure it's hard for Tony to see his mother go in the nursing home, because if they don't come up with a cure, I'm sure he can see himself being there someday.
Obviously, the hope is just to find a cure for it, or to slow it down at least, because Tony's doing really good, but you can't help but wonder what he's thinking all the time, and he can't help it. He was dealt that hand just like Mary was.
I always hope that it's just me that has the disease. That's the thing, I just don't want it passed on to other people.
I hope that he'll see a cure.
I think that the Nebraska Ataxia group has kind of renewed our spirit. I've seen a change in Tony. I see him starting to take better care of himself, and I do see that he has more of a positive attitude than he used to have.
The best support has been like my family, because they're always, standing behind you, and they're always there for you.
Family is everything. I don't know what else to say, because it's everything.